Hi everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back to my channel if you're a returning viewer or subscriber. I hope the lighting's okay. I don't usually film sit down videos this late in the day. It's like an overcast day and the lighting's probably not great anyways. That on top of the fact that it's like 2:30 p.m. makes it a little bit difficult lighting wise, but I hope that everything's fine. Today's video is gonna be another book haul. I film these kind of monthly, but I really love the kind of range we've got within this haul. There's lots of really fun books I'm really excited to share with you. I feel there's a really good kind of like curation of things to show, just like unintentionally. So without further ado, let's just get on into the video. So this book haul starts in February. In February I actually went to Aldborough, which is the little kind of seaside town on the east coast of England. While I was there, I went to the Aldborough bookshop, which is this little independent. I love it there. Last year, when I went, I bought Things I Don't Want to Know by Deborah Levy, which is the first book in a 3-part autobiography series. It just kind of made sense to go back there and to purchase the second book in that series, which is The Cost of Living. This beautiful cover with the still from a Jean-Luc Godard film on it there, right in the centre. This is so exciting. I really love the first book. I gave it 4 stars. Like I said, this is an autobiography series, but it's particularly focusing on why Deborah Levy writes, like her inspiration, and also like how she writes, like the process of that, her love for writing. And I just thoroughly enjoyed the first one, so I'm really excited to see how I find the second one. This one's very popular. I'm not sure if that's just because of the cover. You can read these out of order, and lots of people start with this one as their first one. I think that's a lot to do with the cover. I'm glad to have gone in order. We'll see how much that matters. I'll let you know how I find it. It's actually on my May TBR, so technically I should be getting to this book this month. We'll see how it goes. This one I think follows a lot about her family and her marriage. It says, "To separate love is to live a risk-free life. What's the point of that sort of life? I was living in the Republic of Writing and Children. I was not Simone de Beauvoir after all. No, I had got off the train at a different stop, marriage, and stepped onto a different platform, children. She was my muse, but I was certainly not hers. Yet we had bought a ticket for the same train. The destination was to head towards a freer life." That is a vague destination. No one knows what it looks like when we get there. It is a journey without end. But I did not know that then. I'm really excited to see how this kind of explores feminism, not rejecting things that are like typically female and feminine, like desiring to get married and having children and things like that. Feminism through women being able to do those things and having kind of like autonomy in their decision to do that and also their desire to do it. I think this could be great. I'm very, very excited for it. Okay, first book down. I'm going to start a stack here so you guys can see as we go. Next up, I was in the charity shop and I found, oh my gosh, the books almost all fell on the ground. Year of the Monkey by Patti Smith. I actually don't know what this one is about, but I own Just Kids and I'm very intrigued by Patti Smith. Absolutely certain I'm going to adore her work. I can't even explain it. I'm just so positive that that's going to be the case. Following a run of New Year's concerts at San Francisco's legendary Fillmore, Patti Smith finds herself tramping the coast of Santa Cruz, about to embark on a year of solitary wandering. This is her writing across her travels. But I found this in the charity shop. It was £2.49 standard price for my local place. Hardcover, perfect condition. And like I said, I'm pretty much sure I'm going to enjoy, if not all of Patti Smith's work, then at least one of them. So we'll give this one a go. We'll see what I think. I want to read Just Kids first, but after that, maybe this will be my next one from her. I hit a little milestone on, not milestone, like a goal on YouTube that I'd been kind of building towards for a long while. It was very kind of like, satisfying is not the right word. It was entirely like through my efforts, so I felt this like personal satisfaction, I guess, in it. And I wanted to mark the occasion, but I also didn't want to be spending a bunch of money. So what I did is I bought the original version of one of my favourite ever books. Last year I read Simple Passion by ernaux, which is a piece of translated French writing. So I bought the French version, the original version. I love these editions so much. Very typically kind of old French from Jemima. I think that's how you say it. I don't know whether I'll actually end up reading this. I do understand French. My read French is decent, but I think that it could be quite difficult because this read is very introspective. Simple Passion, if you do not know already, follows ernaux as she experiences an affair which she has with a married man and all the kind of turmoil that goes with that. The kind of like longing and the want for this man, but also the desperation, the negative sides of like the fact that she's having like this secret relationship with someone, that she's struggling just to feel loved by this man. It's such a beautiful piece of writing. There's so many standout quotes, but above all it's just about the female experience. Whatever your opinion is on affairs, ernaux just kind of lays herself bare and she doesn't come in with any like opinions. So it's not about you like judging her for what she did, it's about you kind of relating to her as a woman. Yeah, I personally really loved it a lot, so I'm so excited to have this beautiful edition in the original language. This was literally like £5 on Amazon, so it was just a nice little marker. I pre-ordered a copy of The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Stolen Heir duology, what's that called? A novel of Elfame. I don't know what the duology is called. Stolen Air duology, okay. This is the duology that follows on from the Folk of the Air series, which is The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. A bit of a companion series, but you do have to have read it after you've read those first three. You could read it entirely separately without having read those, but you're not going to want to go back and read the first trilogy because you will have spoiled so many things for yourself by having to jump forward to this series. I pre-ordered basically every single one of the Elfame books, the books set in this world. I've read every single one of them like almost immediately, like the second I received it, but for some reason this book, I don't know, I think I gave the first book a 4 stars, and I think it's realistically more of like a 3, so I feel like I didn't love that series anyway. I have more hope in this one just because I feel like it's the conclusion of a series. It could be kind of interesting. I don't want to feel the same way about this as I did about The Stolen Air, the first book, so I'm conflicted because I adored the first trilogy. Those were all 5-star reads for me. I'm scared to see how I find this, so I still haven't picked it up even though it arrived on my door in February. I'll keep you updated when I finally do read this. I'll tell you my thoughts and how it compares to the last trilogy, but also how it compares to the first book in this little series. But it would be great to kind of read this book. It's not very long, and it also is like rounding off a series, which I feel like could be fun. Tiny little book. This is a little what are these called? Penguin Little Black Classic. Cost £3, and this is a modern detective, but it actually contains 2 stories: Murders in the Rue Morgue and The Mystery of Marie Roget. It says, in these 2 stories, gentleman sleuth C. Auguste Dupin, the first fictional detective, investigates the death of a young girl and the grisly murders in the Rue Morgue. I haven't read any Poe. I own The Black Cat by him, and I probably have some poetry somewhere, but I haven't touched any of it yet, so I'm very excited to see how I find this. I wouldn't have picked this up except for the fact that this was sent to my bestie and then it arrived damaged, so she requested that she got another one, and they were like, sure, here's another one, but you can keep that one with no charge. So she gave me her kind of slightly damaged copy. It is slightly kind of bent in the back. It's really not very noticeable at all, and also I just don't care, so really excited to have this. I'm really fun to get it kind of gifted to me like that. A couple more charity shop finds. This is Basic Black with Pearls by Helen Weinzweig. I don't know how to say this name, I'm really sorry. This is a New York Review Books edition. I really want to collect as many of these as I can because they're kind of like books that have been a little bit under the radar, but they do remain like kind of modern classics. They obviously visually look very beautiful. They all have like a coloured spine like this, and then a cube matching the spine in the centre with a beautiful photograph or painting or whatever it is in the back there. This is a book that I saw that my friend Jolene, I'm friends with her on Bookstagram, she read this. I actually think she gave it like a 3.5 stars, but I'm really personally interested in this, so her review didn't put me off. I think she liked it, but she just wasn't obsessed. Shirley and Conrad's affair has been going on for decades, but her longing for him is as desperate as ever. She is a Toronto housewife. He works for an international organisation known as the Agency. Their rendezvous takes place in Tangier, in Hong Kong, in Rome, and are arranged by an intricate code based on notes slipped into issues of National Geographic. He recognises her by her costume, a respectable black dress and a string of pearls. His appearance, however, is changeable. But something has happened. The code has been discovered, and Conrad sends Shirley to Toronto, the last place she wants to go. There the trail leads her through the sights of her impoverished immigrant childhood and sends her finally to her own house, where she discards her pearls and trades in her basic black for a dress of vibrant multicoloured silk. Published her first novel when she was 58, which is just one of the most inspirational things I've literally ever heard. That's so cool that you can kind of turn your life around at any point. This is her second novel, and it won the Toronto Book Award and has since come to be recognised as a feminist landmark. She imbues formal inventiveness of the nouveau roman with psychological poignancy and surprising humour to tell a story of simultaneous disillusion and discovery. Doesn't that sound great? I'm so excited. When did this come out? When was this published? 1980. Like I said, $2.49, charity shop. Couldn't pass it up. Basically perfect condition. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga. Maybe I won't pronounce that. That's the name of the author, if anyone's curious. This is a beautiful Fitzgerald edition. I've heard about this book for the longest time, over the past couple of years. Shay, this girl I follow called Shay on Bookstagram again, read this, loved it, thought it was just like kind of a little bit life-changing. It just sounds incredible. Like one of those books that you get at the end of the blurb and it's just like, I really just don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but I'm told that it's really beautifully written. This is also another piece of translated writing from the Polish? Yes. In a remote village, Jemima, an eccentric woman in her 60s, recounts the events surrounding the disappearance of her 2 dogs. She is reclusive, preferring the company of animals to people. She's unconventional, believing in the stars. She's fond of the poetry of William Blake, from whose words the title of the book is taken. When members of a local hunting club are found murdered, she becomes involved in the investigation. By no means a conventional crime story, this existential thriller by the Nobel Prize in Literature laureate offers thought-provoking ideas on our perceptions of madness, injustice against marginalised people, animal rights, the hypocrisy of traditional religion, belief in predestination, and caused genuine political uproar in Poland. Like, literally, wow. Wow, wow. I think it sounds really, really incredible. I'm so excited to see how I find it. Like, I'm so excited. And I really trust Fitzgerald editions, like, aside from the award, just in publishing stuff that's really great quality. I've never read anything from them that I dislike. I'm really excited to try some of their fiction. It was so exciting to find that in the charity shop. I really like squealed when I found it. Very different vibe. We have Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the 5th and final book in the Chestnut Springs series, which is a series of interconnected standalone books, all featuring cowboys. It's about one cowboy family, each of the sons' individual romance stories. I think it's a really beautiful story in terms of like the fan family trope. Hopeless is the final book. I had a really tough time trying to get my hands on this for some reason. I'm not sure why. It was like kind of sold out in places, and I didn't want to be paying a lot of money for it. I think because it was like a reasonably new release, like this book came out last year, I think it was. The price was quite high, but I finally found it for a decent price and I snapped it up. This book follows Beau. It's the town prince, a handsome military hero with a tortured past, and then she is an outcast bartender. What's her name? Bailey. Beau and Bailey. That's so cute. I think that they have a fake engagement, almost a fake dating kind of trope, but like even more than that. Then they find out they actually love each other, which is very cute, and maybe they do actually want to get engaged for real. I've read the first 2 books in this series, Flawless and Hopeless. I loved Flawless. That's like one of my favourite romance books of all time. Hopeless was good too, just not a favourite. Book 3 is kind of long, so I haven't got to that one yet. I've been kind of procrastinating it, but I'm really excited to then get on with books 4 and 5 once I finally gone over the hurdle of 3. I really, really love the series. Like I said, just perfect cowboy vibes. Really perfect series for the summertime as well. I actually filmed a summer book recs video. That was the last video I posted, and I really harped on about Chestnut Springs and that. Another kind of modern classic, we have Bel Canto by Anne Patchett. I found this one in the charity shop as well, different charity shop, very cheap. Actually doesn't say how much it cost, but I think it was like £1 or £2. A book I've kind of heard vague things about, but I particularly was excited about it because I love this edition. I'm sorry, this was like such a cover buy. I was drawn to it by the cover, but then I obviously like read the back of it and decided I was actually interested in the content of the book as well as the cover. An ode to the beauty of shared humanity and a triumph of modern literature. Set in South America, and I think there's some sort of like thing where the guests listening to this opera singer are held hostage, and it's about like what kind of goes along with that. I'm really intrigued by this book. I feel like it could be a decently difficult read, but classics are always a little bit like that. There's something about them that's heavier to wrap your head around, but also touched on something deeper, a little bit deeper, which I really enjoy. And the final book is a very different vibe because it's actually a graphic novel. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, the essential graphic novel, adaptation by Ted Adams and Jorge Colejo. This is this book. Lots of lovely gold foil on there. My brother is getting married. He's getting married in July, and his fiance very kindly asked me whether I would be one of her bridesmaids, which is such an honour. She gave me a note. She also gave me a bunch of little gifts, and one of the gifts included in that was this beautiful graphic novel of The Great Gatsby. I actually gave one of my best friends a copy of this, not this, but like a graphic novel of Gatsby, just a different one, a few years ago now. At the time I was like, I really wish I could get a copy for myself as well, but I just never got around to it because obviously it was a gift, and like, you know, there's other ways to be spending your money than gifting yourself things. Receiving this was so special for obviously the reason of like the bigger deal of it being, you know, a gift to like request me as a bridesmaid, but also just because I'm personally like interested in reading this anyways. I really like the art style. It's kind of like, it's quite unique actually. There's some really cool colours going on here. I'm not sure whether you can really tell. And I'm really excited to see some of my favourite quotes. Oh, if you didn't know this already, The Great Gatsby is one of my favourite books ever. I know it's the most basic book in the world, most basic favourite in the world, or most basic thing to say that you like The Great Gatsby, but I truly love it. It's like a 6 stars. I'm desperately due a reread, but I feel like I might. I don't know whether I read this before I do my reread. Maybe I do, I'm not sure. I have a bunch of graphic novels that I never read because I'm saving them for if I ever do a 24-hour readathon. Right now my sleep schedule is so off. Injured myself sleeping too much because of the injury. Went on a long haul flight. I have like severe jet lag. Then I got my period, which I just get always really sleepy with my period. And then the other night I didn't sleep because of some like big event that was going on. All in all, I really don't think throwing a 24-hour readathon and having another night of like no sleep, an all-nighter is going to be a good idea right now at this current moment. But eventually I'll film a 24-hour readathon. I may or may not read this book in it, but I will be definitely reading some of my graphic novels and finally getting to them because I really want to. I just think that they would be really helpful to kind of break up my like longer novel reading in that situation. So there we go. Those are the 10 books I want to share with you in today's video. Oh my gosh, I can't carry them. Lots of books, lots of variety. We've got so many different genres here. We've got romance, we've got fantasy, we've got some non-fiction, we've got some literary fiction, we've got some classics, we've got a graphic novel. It's all going on here. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, let me know that you did. Subscribe if you want to stick around and see me get to these books over time. If there's any of these books that you want to see individual one book focused reading vlogs on, then do let me know. I did actually film one for The Stolen Heir, the first book in this series, so I'll have that linked on the cards and down below if anyone's interested. But without further ado, I will leave you in peace and I'll see you in a couple of days for another video. Saturday will be my next upload. Sending my love to you from here to wherever you may be in the world. Have a lovely rest of your week. Until I see you next. Bye bye.